FAQs, or frequently asked questions, are just that, frequently asked. So we've done a survey to find out the top questions on the minds of gardeners when they visit their local Water Saver Garden Centre. Now, whether you're dealing with clay or sandy soils, both will benefit from a good dose of organic matter like compost or well-rotted manure. Organic matter helps to nourish and improve the structure of clay and aid drainage. On the other hand, sandy soils have a tendency to be too well drained and as a consequence quickly lose water and nutrients. So organic matter not only nourishes these soils but also improves their water holding capacity. In other words, when it rains or water is applied to our gardens, the soil is better able to deliver available water to our plants. Then there's a situation where you actually apply water to your garden beds or pots, but it's simply not absorbed. It just rolls off the surface or down the sides of the pot. Now that's a clear sign that a wetting agent is required. So we'll talk a bit more about that later on. The key function of mulch is to conserve water because it reduces evaporation from the soil surface, but it also plays a role in suppressing weeds. And let's face it, the right mulch can really improve the look of your garden. The most important decision is whether to use an organic mulch like lucerne or pea straw or an inorganic mulch like pebbles. I like to use an organic mulch because as it breaks down, it feeds and nourishes the soil, but it will need to be topped up each year. Pebbles or other inorganic mulches still conserve water and suppress weeds, but won't contribute to the health of your soil. Beyond that, it all comes down to the look that you want to achieve. Under Stage 3A water restrictions, even-numbered properties can water on Saturday and Tuesday. Odd-numbered properties can water on Sunday and Wednesday, and watering is not permitted on Monday, Thursday and Friday. Manual dripper systems, a handheld hose fitted with a trigger nozzle, watering cans and buckets can be used to water gardens as required on specified watering days between 6 and 8 a.m. Households with at least one resident aged 70 years or over may water their gardens manually on specified watering days between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Automatic dripper systems can be used to water gardens as required on specified watering days between midnight and 2 a.m. Grey water, rainwater and recycled water can of course be used safely at any time. Now this is a difficult question to answer because how much water a plant needs depends on so many factors, including the type of plant and of course the weather conditions. But I will say that I think a lot of gardeners have been guilty in the past of lavishing too much water on their plants. Dry conditions have proven that many plants simply don't need as much water as we thought. So don't be afraid to test your plant's limits. Remember also that plants will show signs of being dry, like wilting foliage. The most critical phase in a plant's life is when it's being established, so this is the time to keep the water up. All you need to do is save a bucket of water from the shower twice a week for the first 4 to 6 weeks after you plant. Once its roots are established, it will require much less water. Sometimes soils and potting mixes can become hydrophobic. In other words, they begin to repel water, which is exactly what we don't want for our plants. Soil wetters operate in a similar manner to detergents. They overcome the waxy coating on the surface of soils and organic matter so that water can be absorbed and get right down deep to the root zone. In fact, a good wetting agent can reduce surface runoff and cut water use by up to 50%. The water storing crystals are like little underground water tanks. When you apply water, they swell up to hundreds of times their own weight and look like a clear jelly substance. You can mix them dry or wet through your soils and potting mix. It's important that you get them right into the soil. Don't just sprinkle them on top. They store water near the plant roots, so plants are able to use the water as they need it. That means they're better able to withstand dry weather and less watering. Wetting agents and water storing crystals work together to save water in our gardens. Now, many Australian plants have a well-deserved reputation for being tough in dry conditions, and they're a great choice for water-wise gardens, but not all native plants are dry tolerant. After all, there are areas of Australia that are naturally moist, like rainforests, and plants native to these areas may not be as dependable in the dry. And don't overlook the enormous palette of exotic plants like sedums and lavenders, that thrive with little water. In other words, look for top water-wise garden performers, not just native or exotic.